All right, welcome to our Bitcast. B.I.T stands for Bunch of Idiots Talking Cast or podcast. Well, yeah, let's welcome our first guest in.
I guess, well, not necessarily. I mean, let's just introduce ourselves first.
Yeah, I'm Alex.
Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm Alex's brother.
My name is Yang.
And welcome to the Bitcast, Bunch of Idiots cast. I think we want to introduce our friend here, Yang. He's a longtime friend of ours and someone who we, one of our cohorts that we talk about with all of our problems. Yeah, Yang, just what's up in life, man?
Not much.
How was your day?
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day. A pretty long day for a Saturday.
Yeah.
Just got back from a party, so not drunk or anything, but I did drink a little bit before coming here. But I'm cool right now.
That's right.
That's good.
So you like drinking and driving, huh?
I like drinking and then sober up and then drive home.
Yeah, there we go.
The right way.
Safety.
I assure you, a lot of people have drinking and drove like so many times. It's actually really dangerous, unsafe.
And please don't do that.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, definitely not recommended.
But with that in mind, I mean, I think recently we hung out with Yang and we watched the Spence and Crawford fight. Sorry, this might get a little boring for some of the ladies in the audience, but basically, there was this great fight that just happened recently, and Yang knows a lot about it.
Yep, it is it's basically a unification boxing match where like these two champions they face off against each other, and then basically the winner takes it all. And before the match, the two fighters were considered like some of the best in the world, so they're gonna square off and then see who's better. And to my surprise, and I'm pretty sure to a lot of people's surprise, it was a landslide. It was like a domination, and not a lot of people were expecting that. A lot of people was expecting like a good tough fight, like it's going to be close, like this guy might have won, this other guy might have came close. But at the end, the result was like a massive landslide. You can see it on like one of the dude's face, and to my surprise, that's a good thing because the guy I was rooting for, won. So
who you're rooting for?
I was rooting for Terrence Crawford out of Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay, folks, this is why it's so extraordinary about this event that happened. Is because it wasn't the fact that the guy won and whatnot. It was the fact that our friend Yang over here predicted that this guy would win and how he would win. And it was so accurate to the extent that we told him, why didn't you place bets, you dumbass?
Yeah.
Because
literally, just this fight, like, Yang told us about, like, how they're on a winning streak. Like, they never lost. And, like, this match
they're both undefeated.
Our friend over here has, like, so much boxing knowledge that, like, I'm like, you could be making money off of this and you don't even realize it.
Yeah. I have this much boxing knowledge and you guys are just telling me to use it, go gamble.
Yes, you should.
You should, because you know the knowledge.
Because these aren't just based on like,
like luck or chance.
You have like statistics and like background research, I guess, about these people. So it's like, I don't see why you don't do it. Yeah. But that was an exciting fight. Sorry for the boring 2-3 minutes there, folks, but I mean, it was fun for us. So
I enjoyed that.
If you didn't think it was fun, I mean,
there's so many like knockouts, right, from CRAWFORD.
The undercard fights was some of them were entertaining, some of them were kind of boring. But
sorry,
every
what I mean by
pay-per-view
knockout
is
was
like
like you could see that CRAWFORD was winning.
Yeah,
like, there's a lot. He didn't even sweat too.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that was surprising.
Yeah,
it was like effortless.
Yeah.
And for those of you guys who don't watch boxing, I'm happy that you guys are able to enjoy it too.
Definitely.
Yeah,
just out of the blue, because you guys what you guys probably never heard of these dudes
before. We are not boxing fans at all.
No, you guys don't watch boxing,
let alone
that.
sports fans. We're
not.
Me, and Alex are not very sports.
I wouldn't know.
So
Happy.
for since I got my own place now, for one of the first events I host, you guys come over, I'm happy that you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah. Speaking of which, do you guys think like men need to get in sports? I always feel like there's this topic or this idea that like men need to know sports in order to like kind of conversate. It does help with like business arrangements. I've talked to a lot of like of my business friends, and they're always like, good small talk goes a long way in a business aspect, especially if you're trying to make deals. I mean, what's your thoughts?
Well, I learned this in college, where fighting, just the Olympics, it's more of a sport wise. Just sports. How the sports history has just been going off. There's many sports, right? Soccer, football.
Well,
Right.
But
I see where you're going.
It always comes down to business, though. The business aspect of making money.
I'm talking more like, does a regular guy need to know about sports in order to bring good conversation / small talk?
It depends on like who you want to make an impression on, I guess. But my answer would be no. You don't have to know anything about like sports or whatever the topic is at hand. If you don't know it, then you don't know it, because nobody's perfect like that. Sure. But it is nice. I do get what you're saying. It is nice to have a little bit of knowledge where like you can create small talk with like other people who might be important to you, but they're really into this topic that you don't know much about. But you know a little bit here and there to be able to have like small talk with it.
No, yeah, I would agree. Just what Yang said. Yeah. Just it does create small talks.
Right. I only asked the question because I think there's like so many situations where I've been in where someone has mentioned something about like football, and I'm just wondering to myself like, I know nothing about that, but
right.
That sounds good. And I think it's so awkward when I have to like kind of agree and say yeah, but also at the same time when the Super Bowl hits around, I'm like a super bandwagoner. I just show up just for the food. I feel for the hype.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm more of a super. What was it? A scenario where, working at that place before I joined the insurance, but basically that workplace that I worked at, a coworker will always talk to me about Super Bowls, and I'm like, honestly, I'm not even a football fan, and he constantly talk to me about it, and so like I just agree, and it creates that small talk. So that was a scenario where, it does create.
For sure. Yeah. But I guess onto our topic of today. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is that I found an article online, and it basically talks about like the idea of like recognizing toxic friends / noticing what a bad friend is, right? So what I'm going to introduce to you guys is the top 10 for basically, at least in this article called Love Panky. I don't know, it's a bad article, but it's the one where I could find quickly. And I'll start from number 10. How about that? And let me know your thoughts. So number 10, how to notice a bad friend is if you feel judged for your choices. What's your take?
You feel judged for your choices.
Yeah.
I feel like as
like
adults,
you feel afraid to open up about your friends because you're in the fear of like them judging you
for your actions.
I guess so, but also like
for your decisions,
for whatever you do, exactly, like say or do. Like you're always having second thought.
Yeah.
Or else you're gonna get like smoked by them or roasted.
Roasted there.
Yeah.
Well, I guess when it comes to like if you're just scared of being like made fun of, and then it depends on like whether you're cool with your friend group or not. In a way, that's what friends are for, right?
Yeah.
To have a good time. Not a long time, but have a good time. But
What?
Wait, what do you mean by that?
like we're here for a fun time, not a long time. Right?
I mean, it's
I'm kind of here for a long time. I don't know about
You're
you.
for a long time and a fun time, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Sometimes you can't have both, man. Right?
I beg to differ, but
I beg to differ
I
too.
think I'm feeling a little judged here.
I don't know our friendships.
But I guess if you are constantly doing things that you know or you suspect might be against your like friends' morals and values, then maybe you do need to take a step back and reevaluate like your decisions and your choices. Like, should I keep on doing this? Should I should I avoid these certain things?
Yeah.
If you do care for your friends' opinions, I think, yeah, sometimes you might need to take a step back and be like, maybe I should stop doing this if I want a different outcome. You know?
Yeah. Have you guys experienced this with other friends? Feeling judged for your choices?
Um, Me personally, no. I'm also very blunt when it comes to a lot of things. So I'm not saying that I don't care for my friends' opinions, but me thinking logically, I wouldn't let my friends' opinions completely influence or dictate my decisions, right? So obviously, for a lot of people, you know yourself best, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I think how this thing is worded though is that like you feel judged for your choices, right? So like you've never felt judged for your choices?
I have. What I'm saying is, a lot of times I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I would say yes, I do get judged for my decisions. But like, it is what it is because I feel like I am who I am on what I do, and I don't care about who judges me. But yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't really hit me.
It seems like we're coming to this consensus that basically it doesn't matter whether or not we are judged. It's the fact that like, what is the intent, right? But also at the same time, like, who are we as people when we take judgment, right?
Mhm.
I think if your friends judge you and you are offended by it, or you're strongly wronged by it, or
Mhm.
feel wronged, then I think that's something you should voice.
Right.
A lot of this will always be about communication, though. I
Yeah,
think
right.
within this list, I feel like it's just gonna be about
Yep.
Yeah,
communication.
just talking back,
Um,
or not talking back, but just being able to talk about your issues, your
Have
problems,
a have a conversation
conversation.
with your friend if you guys are in some sort of disagreement.
Yep.
And to a certain point, if you feel like you can't talk to your friend, is that really your friend?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
There you go.
So,
There you go. Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Moving on though, number 9 is you feel like you don't really have friends.
Like you feel lonely,
Yeah.
or do you feel like, or is that is that statement saying you do have friends, but you still feel lonely?
You chose to be alone, or you choose to be alone.
Everything here is based on the assumption that you do have friends already,
Right,
and
right.
this is what you're feeling even when you have friends.
Yeah.
Have you guys experienced this?
No. I'm not gonna lie. I've been pretty confident in like which group I belong in,
Mhm.
and if I feel like if I join a group of friends or people or acquaintances who, makes me feel out of place, I'm usually pretty good at like.
Well, the question is like, have you ever hung out with someone and felt like you guys were never close?
No.
Yeah.
Hang out with them like that? No.
I mean, like,
No.
for example, like Yang, like I didn't know him from the start when I first met him, but
Right.
I'm always cool with him because
Right.
he knew
Yeah.
you, so it's like
Yeah.
obviously I wasn't like in that
Yeah.
position before too, so it's not the feeling of lonely. I think it's always a choice. I feel like that's my opinion, a choice to be like to feel that lonely. Do you think so, or
I would,
there's a definition of being alone? Like you enjoy being alone, or you enjoy
right.
being lonely.
Right.
There's a difference being alone and lonely.
The way I see it
So-
is some people still feel alone in a room full of people. That's I'm not saying that their feelings are invalid, but like maybe they shouldn't put like the blame on those other people, for them feeling lonely.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
I think there's like definitely certain scenarios like that too. However, for this place in the ranking, I personally have felt this actually. If you didn't know, and I feel strong about this because it's the fact that like you shouldn't hang around people that you feel like don't value you or don't want to like further develop your relationship. There was once a time I remember when I was, and I I recall this back when I was a kid, but basically I realized at one point, I think it was like outside of recess, and I was playing with these kids, and these were like guys that like I was calling like my friends and stuff like that, and then I realized that like, wow, these guys really don't care about me, and also, do I even fit with this group? Like, I don't think I really vibe with these guys really that well.
Right.
I don't feel like they're like my friends. Like, we're friend, but like we're not friends.
Yeah.
So it's like at that point, I made the mature decision to just stop hanging out with them, and I think that furthered me better than if I had stuck with them. Because if I had stuck with them, it would have led me down a different path in my life, and I think I would have actually felt like I wasn't significant, that I wasn't meaningful of like having like good relationships, good friendships. And so I seeked different friends and found myself in better situations. So it's not the fact that like these friends are shitty. I don't think that's the phrasing, but maybe that might be the phrasing, but
it's this decision. Like you chose a different path, or you chose.
But I assure you, those people who don't feel like their friends are their friends is because like
maybe
it has to deal with like how the interactions are between that person and the friend group, like
maybe getting roasted and then not really feeling as a part, or not like they're laughing at you rather than they're laughing with you.
Right? But also it's also based on the person, the sole proprietor, who's not wanting to open up and share too about their problems, and ultimately it's about communication.
All comes back down. But there's always some people, right, that don't really, or like it's not saying they're bad, but they're just really bad. I guess they're really bad at making communication, or being bad at communication, right?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? We have encountered some friends that are bad at communication.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Like, so that's what I'm saying.
Even I'm not the best at communication too, but like I try to leave my piece there and let people figure it out.
That's including family too. He's really bad. He's really bad, but we still love him.
Shut your mouth. Okay. All right.
Love you.
Number 8, their drama always leaks over into your life.
That's that one hits kind of hard.
Do tell.
Me personally, I haven't had like an experience where like my friends like dramas has negatively impacted my life like that. I've always been aware to avoid stuff like that, because that's for sure like a red flag. As a acquaintance, like as a friend or as an acquaintance, I don't need that in my life, and I've always done a pretty good job of just avoiding people like that. So I personally don't have any experience with that.
Sorry, repeat the question. Sorry, I blanked out. My bad.
My sir.
I'm always blanking out.
So, number 8 was their drama always leaks over into your life.
Their drama. Yeah, definitely like drama that leaks in. But I tend to always say, just like what our friend Mike does. Oh, do this, but it's on you. It's always like, do this, but it's on you.
Okay.
It's always like I want to be neutral in a whatever people bring their own drama. I'm always like neutral on it. I don't really like give my opinion or 2 cents into it. I'm always trying to resolve this stuff. In a way, I feel like that. That's my.
You don't usually take sides.
I don't usually take sides. I'm always neutral. That's what I feel like. But it depends on the situation too. So I might be a hypocrite too. So.
Okay. But I guess do you guys agree that this is a bad friend if their drama leaks over to you?
Yes.
Of course.
Always,
of course.
Yes, I guess. Sorry, I should have rephrased all
Yes.
these questions into. Do you think all these things are like bad qualities of friends?
Yes.
Okay.
So being lonely, feeling lonely, yes. And even though we hang out with you, obviously, right? And also your drama, and then bring it
now, me as your friend, I have to deal with it, or I gotta talk to people for you.
Yeah.
I gotta go out of my way and make time out of my day to deal with your stuff. As a friend, sometimes I'll do it out of the good of my heart. Like I'll go out of my way to do stuff for you because I value my friendship with you and I value you as a person. But sometimes that can be abused. That can be taken advantage of.
Right. Welcome back, folks. So coming back to our discussion of toxic friends / bad friends and agreeing with this lovely article we have here. Number 7 starts with they prevent you from having fun. Do you guys agree? You think bad friends prevent you from having fun?
Yes. They prevent me from having fun. Like, I
have one good example.
What are you doing? Like, that's obviously a red flag. But I personally can't think of any examples.
For me, yes, it is a red flag. I don't know. I'll give you an example. I love to dance. If you guys didn't know, I break dance, and just having like a friend that doesn't really dance much or used to dance but not anymore, and then now they just go to like dance jams. They don't come with me. And it's like, it kind of ruins the moment. So it's like, why am I out here, dancing and I'm having fun, but you can't, and that kind of just ruins every mood. So yeah, that's an example that
Yeah.
kind of ruins my mood.
Hmm. For sure.
Yep.
Well, I mean, if you're just thinking about like casual nights of like partying, like if one of your friends keeps getting drunk, right, blackout drunk, right, and you keep like having to take care of them, I mean, they're preventing you from having fun, right? They're preventing you from, casually socializing with your friends, and so I think that's, it really does depend on like whether or not what they're doing stopping you from having fun is detrimental. Um, but like I think at the end of the day, it's like, it's like what we've been saying, right? Like there's always limits, and if you keep pushing someone's limits, it's gonna be like, what the heck are you doing, bro? Like you obviously need help, professional help, if not, inner help.
This question kind of hits the moment where you always invite friends and then they don't come, as in like, or they keep making excuses, right? does that
Yeah.
affect this
Yeah.
this question too?
Well,
Or
yeah,
this
well,
and that's
What?
actually a little
What?
funny you should mention that. That's actually down the list, actually.
Hey,
Yeah.
I got it.
That's actually one of the big
Save
it.
things down the list.
Nice.
So I mean, does anyone have anything else? Do we agree that?
Yeah, I agree.
yeah. I think another one last thing I just wanted to add is like when you're having fun, are you like having fun doing the activity or are you having fun with the company of your friends? I think that also determines like what you mean by fun as well.
All right, moving along. Number 6, they talk badly about people you care about. Is that a quality of a bad friend?
Yeah, somebody talk shit about my girlfriend, like I'm definitely gonna look at you differently, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I don't want to be illogical. I don't want to be illogical. Like, obviously, if you guys are talking shit about, like, what y'all saying is true as well, then I can't knock you guys for it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
It's debatable. This is
Yeah.
definitely debatable,
It's debatable.
but I want you to take one side.
Yeah. Jeez,
We can argue the gray
It's gonna be
here.
hard for
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Yang
yeah.
making this decision, but
yeah, yeah.
I think this is true. I think this is very true. Like, especially if it's people you care about, like, and like they're actually good people. Yeah, I think it's fair enough to say like, hey, why would you talk trash about someone who's so good and so I guess not regarded in that aspect of like trash, like then it's valid. I truly believe so.
but my question is like, what if it's like they're showing their two-face as in one of their good side, and like you can't really you just don't know.
They're being a two-face.
Yeah, they're being a two-face where they're like, oh, they're really nice and kind, but then in reality they're like they're just an ass.
If you're really friends with that person, you should like be able to like tell.
Tell.
Right? If you're closer with them, you should be able to tell.
Right. Because if you never knew their other side, then you were never really friends.
But then like,
Yes, sir.
okay, I guess
That's but I mean, we have anything to add to that?
that's pretty much it.
Okay. Moving along. Number 5, they're talking bad about you behind your back.
Yeah, definitely. That I mean, yes, but you might as well talk to them in face to face. Actually, it always comes down to communication, right? Just coming up to them and like confronting them, but also resolving it in a way.
Mm-hmm. But I can also see it too, that in the aspect that like that we talk sometimes. I'm guilty of this. Like I talk shit about my friends, but like the things that like what I'm talking about is like so specific and so like it's meant. It has the intent that like I want them to get better.
Yeah, that's.
I want them to realize that like they can do better.
Mhm.
They can be better.
Yeah.
And like I want to help them their growth, but it's up to them. And it's not in the intent that like all vicious and like trying to like be so malice about it and evil. But it's more about like, man, I can't believe you did that. Like like I know he can do better, I want to help them, but like I don't know how to do this. And sometimes when we do talk trash about our friends, it's not in the aspect that like we hate them, but it's just sometimes we want to get it off our chest that like this
Right.
really bugged me.
Yeah.
And like
We don't have any bad intentions.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good.
At least
It's
that's
humor.
within our friend group.
Yes.
I think it's more. Yeah, you're definitely just
Yes.
hanging with this friend group. Well, I mean, overall, it's just I enjoy the humor, and sometimes we roast each other. But overall, it's always good intentions. It's never bad.
Yeah.
Never bad.
Like I would never talk trash about someone in front of their face, like because like unless it's called for. But like it's it's weird. Like I would argue that it's okay to like okay, talking trash is bad, but like what I give is more like constructive criticism, right? Like that's what I'm aiming for. And so I think it's valid to talk about constructive criticism behind someone's back because then you're like processing it, but you don't want to like hurt their feelings. You validate your friendship enough to realize that like coming at it right from the start and being blunt about it is not a good approach. Then having to process it and understand it more, and then coming back with a well explained response is better.
That's better. Yeah.
Yeah, the way I would put it is we complain or we talk shit with the hopes of like some good changes, some good results at the end,
Yeah.
We don't just if we are straight up like talking shit and just throwing trash at somebody's name, then we will make that clear. But for those who are like actual friends with us or like with the individual, we talk shit out of like
Love or
out of love.
Out of love.
Yeah, it's out of love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it comes back that we're a group of friends, like that are very close.
Yeah, we're compassionate.
Yeah.
And we always are striving for one another to like win. Yeah. Actually falls in line with something earlier. Are you ready to move on? To next
Yeah.
one?
Yep, next
Okay.
one.
Number 4. They don't support your goals. Very obvious.
Ooh.
Or is it not?
I don't really like. I guess if my friends don't support my goals, then it is what it is.
Yeah.
I can't force you
force.
to go along with my decision, right? This is my goal. This is what I want. I can't expect you to want what I want, right? So, however, if your goal or decision is depending on your friend, then maybe you should consider what they have to say too. Consider their opinion as well. If when it comes to a situation where like you depend on this friend for your goals, you should probably highly take into consideration what their opinion is, as opposed to disregarding it because you just want to do whatever you want. Yes, that makes sense.
My question is, how does a friend show supportive on your goals? Like, do they show up to your things, or what's the ways to support your friend?
If I get
For their
married,
goals.
if I get married tomorrow, y'all showing up?
So that's one of your goals. Isn't
That
it?
is a goal. Yeah.
Yeah,
Getting
that's a
married
goal,
is a
yeah.
goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
My wedding's
And
tomorrow,
just
y'all showing up?
So like it's I don't know. I'm just trying to find a hard time of like figuring out. Sure, they're there. That's a friend. They show up. So being present then
Just-
is your way of
that's one of
supporting.
That's one
Yeah.
of the ways.
being
But
present.
honestly, just saying like, I believe in you. Like, I believe you can do this, and
Yeah.
actually meaning it is a way of support.
verbal.
Yeah. You don't need to be there
compliments.
physically.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely. I think I'm more of I'll mostly know on this one because it's like I have friends. Sure, they say they support me, but they have their own life. Everyone has their own life, and everyone's a human. And truthfully, I do know that they support me, but like I don't need to hear from them. It's not being, I don't know.
Alex, I support you.
Thank you. I love that, but like, it's more like you gotta show more to know more. I don't know, because I don't know.
The effort needs to be there.
Yeah. I don't know. This question is
Yeah. Do you think bad friends don't support your goals?
bad friends.
No, cause like if I have a goal to like do this, and you as a friend, and you're telling me like, Ying, I don't think you should really do this, then your opinion is your opinion, and if you're close to me, I'll definitely take into consideration.
That's true.
I'll probably like, be like, why did Alex think this? Why did Kevin say that? And if we disagree, then I guess we can agree to disagree.
There we go.
But
We disagree.
if you're my friend, I would highly consider your opinion. Your opinion has value.
Yeah. But like you wouldn't like break off, right? You'll be like, man, I don't like that guy, man, because he said
No,
this.
no, that would be a little bit illogical, right?
Yeah.
What
What
Unless
about
something bad was done or something.
Yeah. What about you, Ken?
I would say like it would have to. Actually, yeah. I think Yang has kind of converted me into the idea that like whatever my friends think of my goals, like I could care less. I mean, I don't depend on them for my goals. I tell you that for sure.
So
So
you're saying that when me and Alan and Mike never really showed up to your, if we didn't show up to your acting film,
yeah, my
it
plays
wouldn't
and
it
jokes-
wouldn't
still
it wouldn't
do it,
hurt you.
honestly, I don't give a-
But we
I-
support you. That's how we
Yeah,
show
I mean,
our ways.
like that's the thing. I like your love is well, I don't know if this makes sense. It's either your love or my love is unconditional enough that like basically I don't really care if you support me or not because I'm doing me, and like your validation isn't what I'm seeking. It's myself that I'm seeking, my self validation, my appreciation for my art and my career, and that's what's gonna drive me. So if you don't support me, I don't think you're a bad friend.
Yeah,
you might be a shitty friend. Just kidding. I guess you gotta think about it. Like, so if someone really doesn't support you, but they still love you, and they still care about you, and they're so nice to you, and like compassionate, then like, who's to say they're not a good friend? That's shitty.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
Yep. Moving on.
To number 3, they get mad at you for stuff they do all the time.
They're gonna get mad at me
Yes.
for the shit they're doing.
Yep, so like double standards, yeah. So like they ignore your texts, but if more than a couple hours goes by without you responding, they get pissed.
Yeah.
That's a straight
Yeah.
up toxic.
That's
toxic
hella
101 right
toxic.
there.
A selfish motherfucker. Yeah. Like
Of course.
that's super easy, right?
yeah.
Right, yeah.
It's number 3 on the list, so I mean that's obviously
Yeah.
a no-brainer, right? And now we go next to these 2 other no-brainers. At number 2, your texts go unanswered.
It's the same one as the.
Yeah, basically the same one,
Yeah.
right? Except this is like referring more to just text in general, right?
Okay.
Text and calls, right? Your way of messaging, think of it more like this, like way of messaging or contacting them isn't reciprocated.
There we go.
That's how honestly that's how I knew a lot of people didn't really fuck with me or like didn't fuck with me heavy is when like they just weren't able to like reciprocate simple text messages and stuff like that, and
Yeah, you get to realize who's the real one, who's not.
yeah, which leads us to like I'm just gonna say right now, number 1, you're always the first to initiate a hangout.
Ooh.
That is, I think
That is the number one. Right?
that is like a
Yeah.
bad or a big key is in terms of what a bad friend is, right? And I've had personal experience in this, and it's been hard. But then you find out later on that like they were never your friend, and that they actually thought bad of you, and they never knew who what your character was. So it's like, man, you can only wish the best for these people, but at the end of the day, like, hey, I mean, they lost someone out that was they lost an opportunity to be friends with or have a good relationship with someone who actually cared about them and loved them. What do you guys think? Do you agree? If you're always the first to
Yeah.
initiate?
If you're always the first one to initiate, then in a way, your friendship, quote unquote friendship with them, is solely dependent on like your actions. If you were the only one initiating,
Mhm.
if you didn't initiate any of the stuff you did, then there's a high chance that your friendship wouldn't have even been there in the first place.
Yeah, in the first place.
And that feels like that's not a good feeling.
Mhm.
Yeah. You can go ahead. I thought of something else too. I forgot.
Man, I'm just trying to think of a scenario, but I have no scenarios where
you
if I ever. I mean, I did invite. Well, recently my birthday party, right? So
Yeah.
I invite these friends. Some of them can make it, some of them can't. But it's like I try my best. I'm a very neutral guy. And I invite people. Very kind, and I feel like just from this party, what do you guys think at the party? Like, you saw people that you knew. Why did they show up? And that's something that always comes into my mind. Where are we really friends, or are we not, or you're just here? I feel like I'm pretty a nice guy, or
Yeah.
kind guy where they want to show up, and I appreciate
Right.
their presence here,
Yeah, their
And-
authenticity.
Yeah.
Like
and definitely the people that actually showed up at my party, cool, awesome, and people who did show up, I also respect you guys too. And it's never like a hate, I don't hate you guys.
Right.
It's just I don't know when there's a limit or when to stop to invite these people that don't really show up. They try their best, but like it's hard to manage a relationship where inviting them, but it is what it is. That's just how reality is. So
And I'm gonna say something that like what I think was on like the Genius Brain podcast or Dudes Behind the Foods, but basically it's the concept that like, you know, there are your friends and then there's the homies, right? There or more like there's the friends, friends, and then there's the homies, and then the day ones, right?
Yeah.
So like, you have these group of friends, right? Or you have these different circles of friends, and some of them are closer than the other. But at the very core of it, you have your day ones who will always be there no matter what, you know? And so I think, like, if you think of it as in that aspect, you're not going to feel so personal about if someone doesn't show up, you know? Because if they are your homie and your day one, they'll always show up. Versus if they're just your friend or friend, you know?
They might show up out of convenience.
Yeah.
That's
I just
honestly...
remember what I want to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Convenience. I guess friends or like the homies will like prioritize you and the stuff you got going on. I understand like not anybody, like nobody's perfect, because we still got our lives to deal with, but the homies will prioritize your events and will actually take time out of their day to make time for you. Versus some friends where like you invite them and they don't come, you're not that hurt, but at the same time sometimes they show up just out of convenience, and sometimes we can see that, sometimes we might not know about it, but sometimes we can see that like you only here because you didn't have to make time, you just had spare time, so
Yeah, and I would even argue too that like the best friendships start conveniently, right? I mean, that's why a lot of us as people like have so many like or we might have so many high school friends or college friends. It's because it's just convenient. We're all there. You just happen to be cool. I happen to be cool. We have some interests. Like that's cool. But catch us outside of those environments. Who are we? Will we still hang out? Do we still have the same interests? Like it's coming more and more into fruition now that like as I'm growing up, that like people who I was hanging out with then were just out of conveniency, and that's okay because they're not my day ones, they're not my homies. I'm not gonna feel personal about it,
No, yeah, I agree with you. Like, it's nothing wrong, for sure. Like, just it was just very convenient. Yeah, and then those people at the parties, like, maybe they were convenient too. So it's just I appreciate everyone.
So going back to your party, I feel like for some of those people who did show up that we haven't seen, or you probably haven't seen in a while, they probably were like sitting somewhere between like the acquaintances and the friends. They're more like probably like distant friends, They still showed up because they care. You messaged them, you contacted them. They still showed up because they still somewhat care. But they're not that close to you to begin with, right?
But also, like, the party was just too lit, to be honest. Too lit that you might as well take a break.
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to the Bitcast, Buncha Idiots talking cast. So we're just gonna do like a 5-minute recourse of what we've just talked about. What did you guys think about this article? Was it pretty accurate, or do you feel like there was some stuff that was missing in terms of bad friends?
It made some good points. I wouldn't say like any of those points are not valid for sure. I'm pretty sure like those points are good points, but maybe they didn't cover everything.
For sure. Yeah, I think this is actually a top 20 list, but I just took the top 10 because I thought those would be more relevant. They kind of feel like they overlapped a bit, if I'm being honest. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think definitely, it overlapped a lot for me personally. I feel like, it's just not. Yeah, it doesn't hit all. Well, I have a lot of like scenarios in the situations
Yeah,
of that.
explain.
So, explain how.
Like, what kind of scenarios were you thinking?
Of like, just different. As a bad friend.
Yeah.
As a bad friend.
When we were talking through these points and these like topics, did like an event or like a person pop up in your head?
Oh.
Obviously, you don't have to state it, but like, did it?
No, like I'm feel like I'm so neutral that it didn't really hit me. That's why I feel like these topics or statements don't really hit me as hard compared to I don't know if you guys ever experienced
Sure.
bad friends.
I'm sure you've experienced bad friends, Alex. I mean,
So you know me,
yeah.
bad friends, but that's pertaining to like you. It was out of my control. I would say those friends. That it was out of my control, and I can't really control who you hang. Like, I can't say, don't hang out with this person because of this situation, right?
Okay.
Like that.
So I mean, like, you're talking too generic right now, or
Oh.
too general. Like,
So you want me to go in detail?
it would be better you going specifically, but
Okay.
I respect if you don't want to share.
I mean, I don't mind, but for a scenario, right? Your ex, right? If you were to get into a relationship with your ex and then your ex break up with you, right? And then now they hang out with your friends.
Oh.
Are you still gonna hang out with your friends even though your friends hang out, or you managely just respect them and you leave them alone? And you know what? This is my time to break off and build my other friends or build new friends. Yeah. So that's why. But I never had any negative where like I hate you, like I don't like you. It's more like just
You are a bad friend.
no. It's just like
Something like
you know what? I respect you, and I'm gonna leave you. And you want to hang with my
Yeah.
friends, you guys can. If my friends want to come hang with me, they're more than welcome to.
That's
That's
very interesting.
Yeah.
I think I've had a little too many instances where I fucking hate you. Don't fucking talk to me.
See,
I'm gonna wish you well,
That's what I
but
mean.
don't
Yeah.
talk to me ever again.
Yeah.
See?
And those feelings are very valid.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were called for. No,
Mhm.
I'm not saying I just cut off people just because I cut off people. Like, even these guys can back me up. That like,
You're not saying that you're a jerk,
Well,
Yeah.
but you're saying that
'Cause-
you can be a jerk if you want to.
no, it's more
You
like
need to.
these people who have wronged me in my life. It was definitely called
I
for.
feel like-
me cutting it off.
I feel like they took you as granted.
Yeah.
Like as in they look at you like, I can use them, or I can I can play
No,
with them.
it's just more like just that I think they just thought that like nothing would go wrong.
Yeah.
And that nothing like they would never drop me.
Yeah, and for me, from seeing it from a third person view, I think it's more like I'm using you in a way. I feel like that's what I feel like they were using you.
Yeah.
So.
And sure, people can go through their own emotions and stuff like that and their own problems, but don't make that someone else's issue. And like, especially when someone tells you that like, hey, I think you need professional help, and you tell them, nah, I don't need professional help. Like, well then, don't be surprised when I leave.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah.
And also just not even listen to,
Yeah.
being more active listener rather than a passive listener.
Yeah. So I think this article was not specific enough, or just I just felt like there was just too many conflicting ideas in terms of like whether or not it was actually bad friend quality / toxic friend quality traits.
The few of the last topics that we talked about could have just been bunched up together.
Yeah.
Condensed
Yeah,
together. Yeah.
So that's why Kevin said, it was always kind of lapping each other,
Overlapping
right?
each other.
Yeah, overlapping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But otherwise, thank you for listening, folks. It's been a blast. I'm sorry of this, it just seems so much more chiller. We are recording this in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it's very late.
A lot of conflicting schedule conflicts.
Yeah,
that happened,
recording.
and
So
we were luckily still able to make this happen. So,
Mhm.
cheers to that.
Yep. Cheers to that.
Yeah. And we're signing off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.